And on that note, welcome to our latest episode of That's Fair Podcast. And I'm your host, Matt.
It's your boy, Bing Bing.
Hello, it's Myles.
And we are going to do one on the controversy of surrounding 2005 Terri Schiavo, the brain-dead patient from Florida that people were fighting to keep alive. So stay tuned.
Sounds like Mark.
Sorry about that intro. It was a little brutal on Myles' part.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I laughed a little harder than I should have.
It's not my fault he's smooth brained, alright?
I just got my last two brain cells fighting for third place, you know?
Oh, I know it. It's alright.
Anyway, so guys, on a serious note though, I told Myles I was going to do this. I think I did. I want to give a shout out to a high school friend of mine who recently passed away. His name was Stevie Anthony Gomez, and he was one of my best friends in my junior year of Grand Junction High School. And the dude, he and all his friends, man, the Hispanic, man, they all took me in like I was one of their own. So they were the coolest motherfuckers. And so I just want to say rest in peace to my buddy Steve Gomez. He's gonna be missed, man. He had a 7-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Oh,
And and he passed away on the 3rd of this month. So rest in peace, Steve.
Yeah. R.I.P. Steve.
Rest in peace, Mr. Steve.
Love you, brother. And anyway, thank you for that. We're gonna go into Terri Schiavo, and ultimately your thoughts on on being brain dead.
On Mark?
It's okay. We don't have to call it brain dead. We can just call it Mark's state of mind. Episode.
Call it what you have to, you know? It is what it is.
It's just fucked up. It was fucked up, and I laughed, and I'm going to hell, and that's okay. Shit.
At least we'll see your mom there.
She's looking up and laughing at you guys. On a real note, man, my mom would have fucking loved you guys. No bullshit.
And she created this man. Look at him. Would you look at him?
4
Myles,
foot
look
plus
at him.
1 of girth. Right?
Well, I mean, it's awfully nice that you
Just
call me a
girth
man.
squared.
Yeah.
Nice that you call me a man. It's pushing it,
Oh.
but thank you. Like I said, me and Myles are so short. You put us together, we barely make a whole man. So
I don't know why we don't include Mark in this.
because
What?
he's still taller than us.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yes.
Not really.
Anyway,
You said yes so fucking confidently,
Yes.
like you weren't like maybe.
Dude,
an inch taller
I'm
than us.
6'4".
You are not even close to 6'4".
No, just let him finish.
you're barely 4'6". How the hell are you 6'4"? Anyway, guys, we're on this. This is supposed to be a serious episode. Anyway, her name was Terri Schiavo. She was 26-year-old. In the year of 1990, she was 26, and she suffered a cardiac arrest and went without oxygen for several minutes. I'm fairly certain this all took place in Florida. I mean, I don't know if the accident or cardiac arrest took place in Florida, but Jeb Bush, I don't know if he was a brother, cousin, whatever you want to call it, to the President Bush. He was I guess the senator or governor of Florida, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
She was considered to have what was called profound brain damage, or it was PVS, which is persistent vegetative state.
Ooh.
And for 4 years, her husband, Michael Schiavo, tried to work with her, but the prognosis kept coming back that she will never regain anything.
She's gone.
Yeah, the doctors flat out said that she was shit.
Wow.
Jeez.
Fuck me, man.
Idiot.
Yeah, I'm a
Idiot.
idiot. What a moron.
So, how did she get there?
Well, just a cardiac arrest. I mean, I don't
Oh,
know.
I see.
I don't know. They had. I don't think it's ever been researched even what caused it.
He's the brother of George W. Bush.
Is he the brother? Okay.
Yeah.
And
George
was he
W.
governor or senator
W. He was the.
or congressman? Something. I
Let
don't
me
know.
see.
Who gives a shit?
John Ellis Bush.
Some old white dude, man.
He's
Governor. He was the 43rd governor of Florida from 1997 to 2007.
Governor.
Or sorry, 1999 to 2007.
He's related to Bush, so he's a pile. Anyway, so like I said, they tried to work the husband Michael.
Anyways,
Shut the
continue.
fuck up.
Anyways, continue.
Is it like the same way you're like related to Conor McGregor,
I've never been related.
or the same way that you're related to Steve Seagal?
Oh,
That one
one
hurts.
with this fucking widow's peak, dude.
That hurts.
Coming from a man who just bathes in ranch, you fat bitch.
Whoa! I can bend over and tie my shoes without running out of breath here, dog.
Hey,
Hey.
Whoa!
God.
Oh, shit. All right.
Anyway,
they're
So
just so far away.
her brain was completely gone. The doctors had told Michael Schiavo and told her parents, that Bob and Mary Schindler, that
Like Schindler's List.
yeah, it's
Okay.
spelt and everything.
Gotcha.
But yeah, told her that it's gone. It's gone. The brain's gone. The only thing functioning was her brain stem. And as you know, the brain stem, what's functioned by the brain stem is voluntary or even involuntary breathing still by the brain stem, and then reflexes. That was it. That's all Terri Schiavo had, was her reflexes and her ability to breathe on her own, which the brain stem allows all that. She had no thought, no memory, no, her ability to think was gone. Okay. Now, you guys, when I tell you this, you guys are going to probably look at it objectively on both sides. And bless you, I understand when you do. But 4 years after the collapse, doctors gave Michael Schiavo just the worst news. He's like, she's gone. I mean, there's nothing. And she was in a vegetative state. She's like, and then as it progressed, she started, whatever they, the people who become vegetables, they kind of just shrink up and become just like their hands are twisted and it's all fucked up. So in 1998, Michael Schiavo, this was 8 years after, Michael Schiavo in 1998 started petitioning to have her feeding tube removed. Excuse me. And that's, when people, I guess when it comes to that, that was a normal process at this time, people having their feeding tubes removed. And people are like, well, it's inhumane because they starve to death and they dehydrate to death. But they don't have the brain capacity to fire off the nerve endings to actually feel it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So they don't know what's happening to them.
Yeah.
Is it inhumane? Is it humane? Let me ask you that much first before we proceed.
I mean, I think it comes down to like the basic, like when you're a kid and like you have like your primary care, like your mom or your dad or whatever, and they sign off everything until you're like 18, right? That's like your right after you get there, consciously, I feel like, to make your own decisions.
Right.
Okay?
So I'm going to get to that too.
So if you're in a state to where like you can't even, make a choice like that, like, I mean, I feel like it's based on like situation, like family maybe, like their beliefs, I guess.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, it's like, you're kind of sleeping already, so it's like...
Yeah, but you're still... The flip side is people look at it this way. Would they want to live that way? No. And I'll tell you this, and I'll probably have to mention it again during the segment, that Michael Schiavo, the husband, was able to prove that she did not want to live like this. He was able to prove that in court, because this went to court so many times, there was 19 different judges that would preside over this.
Wow.
Yeah. And okay, so this is where my kind of standing is on this, and like, and it may come across a little fucked up, but here's the thing: if you have somebody who is 110% sure and telling you that they are brain dead, there is no bringing them back, why waste the money?
Okay.
That's not trying to be a dick.
No.
You have to look at it from all angles. You have to look at how much it costs.
Yeah.
To have somebody on life support this entire time.
Think about
for years.
I don't know what happens with the rest of this case or anything so far. Right? I'm going in dry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Like, hold on. This is gonna probably be a little not really so much of a culture shock because people know how bad our fucking healthcare system is here. But like to our listeners that aren't from the U.S. that have fucking free healthcare and shit, but really
not even free, just fucking affordable. You know what I mean?
Their taxes are really fucking high. Anyways.
Where they're listening from, I guess.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of people from different countries listening in now. We just picked up the Netherlands. Holla, holla, the Netherlands.
I'm just saying, I don't think any of us make the amount of money needed to where like healthcare isn't a problem. You know what I mean?
No, dude. Like if I like my back starts hurting, I'm like, oh god, can't afford that.
Better get the peas out.
Yeah, no, dude.
Dude, get the roller out.
Yeah. Take a hot shower.
Yeah, dude.
Like get a little.
here's where the battle started to take place. The battle over Terri Schiavo's life. You had a girl who was very attractive, I thought. Before this, you're like, damn, No,
No. It's I got it. No, it's good.
No, the reason I'm saying that though is because they show pictures before her cardiac arrest, and you're like, damn, looks totally different than the woman who I can't say was suffering because she was brain dead.
Yeah.
You have to have your brain to be able to feel something.
So when did you have your cardiac arrest?
Let's see, carry the 2, 4 days ago.
Damn, you look good.
It's really showing.
Wow.
I do look good. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Sorry, these allergies are like kicking my ass for whatever reason right now, dude. I just sat down. I'm like,
Really, we're blaming the allergies.
All right.
I know I'm having a hard time.
Jesus.
But anyway, Bob and Mary Schindler, her parents, and Terri Schiavo's brother, which I never researched his name enough. He's a Schiavo. Well, not a Schiavo because he's a Schindler. My bad. But anyway, they were trying to convince the husband Michael, let us just take care of her. Then you can just just move on. I mean, if you consider her dead, let us take care of her. Now, what really got this going was their legal battle started going back and forth, and it was going on for years, like years. I mean, remember this happened in February of 1990.
Yeah.
And by 2000, they're fighting hardcore legally. I mean, they'd already been fighting before that, but man, it started to gain.
So this
attention.
was between like the family, pretty much. Like
the family, the husband, and then her actual, her parents.
I see.
Yeah, her paternal and maternal side versus her husband. But the husband was able to continually prove in court she didn't want to live like this. I mean, he was able to prove it. And so you started having judges go, okay, pull the tube. And they're like, no, let us take care of it.
Yeah.
Here's my input on this.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that Terri Schiavo suffered? Because ultimately the end of the story is they pull the tube, she dies in 2005. But, and we'll get to that, but I don't think she suffered. I don't think she could feel it. I mean, she's brain dead. But do I think it would have been wrong? If the parents wanted to take care of her, just pass her off.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, if the parents wanted to you can call it a burden, but if that's what they wanted, let them do it. They were paying for it.
I get that, but if he is constantly proving that she wouldn't want to live that way, why would you want your wife, the flip side, person you love, like with
By then he was already engaged to someone else, by the way.
Ah, wow.
Wow.
Well, okay.
But I mean, this was years later, guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm not painting him as a bad guy. He's not a bad guy.
No, okay, yeah.
I mean,
15 years later.
Yeah, because she when it was finally, yes.
Yeah, okay,
and we'll get to that.
So that's understandable, but like at the same time, it's like he was fighting for what she wanted, and
exactly
the family was fighting for what they wanted, which is selfish in my opinion.
It's just tough because, like, I mean, nobody knows when something's gonna happen.
No.
Yeah.
Especially like a heart attack or a stroke or something like that,
And you never think it's gonna happen even when you talk about it. Like Mandy said, if I ever get to be like that, pull the plug. Now, when people ask me to do something, I do it. I was the living power of attorney for my mom. When the paramedics were working on her and she was dead on the floor, they flat out said, "Do you want us to continue?" I had to say no. That's what she told me to tell her.
And I think that's important for everybody, like, kind of get in line at some point. Like, and that's what I'm saying. It's, like, tough. Because what if that shit would have happened to, like, us,
the fucked
like,
up
our
thing
age,
is, like, you just said somebody's got to get in line at some point, but we're always in line.
What do you mean?
No, I just, like, if you were to have a heart attack right now.
Yeah.
And,
by the way, I'm the closest to it.
Like, nobody would have the control over you besides maybe your parents.
Oh, dude, I thought you were talking about lining up for death. I was like,
no.
We're all in line for death, dude.
Well, yeah, but like, I just mean like to get like your shit in order. You know what I mean?
And I mean, I guess I wouldn't be closest to a heart attack. Weren't you born with like a potato for a heart or something?
What the fuck? I think you're getting that confused with your brain, but
no, I'm just saying you're the one that they should call you Thumper.
You fucking sneeze and just
born with SBT. It's an upper valve issue.
Born with what?
SBT.
SBT?
V.
SVT.
I do believe though, like whenever you do get married, like you're in a sense like your spouse is now like your.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you are. That is the way it is. Unless stated otherwise during the marriage or before a marriage, unless stated otherwise, the spouse is solely responsible, and they should be.
Yeah.
That's who you chose to spend the rest of your life
Sign a prenup.
Right. And I mean, there was nothing.
You don't get to tell people how I'd die.
But continually in and out of court. And every time they'd go into court, the judge would rule in Michael Schiavo's favor. And they would start, and there was a few times they'd pull the feeding tube, and then days later they would put it back in.
So she's probably...
Because, well, I'm just saying, because Bob and Mary appealed to the public and the media and started getting when Bob and Mary got the media involved, it really fucked everything up, because the media just fucks everything up.
Oh yeah, they took it and ran. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And see, people were on Michael Schiavo's lawn, like invading his privacy with signs calling him a murderer and shit. And he's like, Michael Schiavo flat out said, he goes, okay, I understand that, I love the compassion for Terri, but why the fuck are you choosing this case out of every one of them? This happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it does. It did before.
It's just
Terri
because
Schiavo.
the media got a hold of it. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the only reason it blew up. That's why, like, when he told me about this story, I was like, why the fuck was this a thing?
Yeah. Because the media because they were in and out of court so fucking much. I mean, and again, in Bob and Mary's defense, I understand. Because here's the deal. They would take videos, right? They would submit these videos into the courtrooms. But unfortunately, these videos were edited in a lot of ways to where, Terri Schiavo's looking up like there'd be a balloon coming towards her. As it was coming towards her face, it was a reflective action. But she didn't think about it. It was like
the body just got touched and it moved.
Right. And they cut certain parts. They edited the tape to make it look like in ways she was actually responding to certain stimuli. But she really wasn't. The doctors even said, that doesn't mean anything. And when they were fighting for Terri Schiavo during this time, and because I was watching this, like me and Mandy would like stay up late watching this whole fucking battle in 2005. When you're watching these videos of her, they made it look like she was responding to stimuli. We're like, well, how are you going to kill her? How are you going to kill her? And we're like, fuck you, Michael Schiavo. But he was right. He was right the whole time. Michael Schiavo is not a bad guy. Like you said, he is adhering to the wishes of his wife, who specifically stated she didn't want to ever be like this.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm saying. Though.
I'm the type where it's like, just fucking put some straps on me, wear me like a backpack or something.
You don't get married. Yeah. You don't get married to the family. You get married to your person, to your spouse.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like you're not doing the family's wishes. Right. Like that's the whole point of getting married. Create your own family. Create your own rules. Create your own destiny. Like it's a whole different order.
And the media
it should be up to the parents at that point. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. And then, but I will say this. Here's where it's right on both sides, though. In the family's defense as well, the Schindlers, they're like, well, okay, you pull the feeding tube out. She passes away. What if all of a sudden they come out with something the very next day?
Oh, dude, like the mist or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm
just
saying,
like a week too early.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's always a possibility. That'll always be on someone's mind.
Well, my first thought, too, was like, you always hear stories about, like, oh, this guy was in a coma for 20 years. And then he just fucking wakes up.
Yeah. Right. But
like,
more times than not. More times than not.
Well, that's what I was going to...
That's fabricated because a lot of them are brain dead when they wake up.
Well, I was going to say that there was one case. It was like, it's probably one of the most popular cases. I don't know the gentleman's name, but he in all the pictures, it was like a red sweater and he had like black hair. And apparently he was in a coma for a while, but he was like in a coma to the point where he could still hear what was going on around him the entire time.
He just couldn't like...
He was kind of cognitive, but his body like wasn't allowing him to move or anything like that. So he could hear everything that was going on.
In most cases, I feel like that would be like, what it is.
And his mom was apparently talking so much shit about him, like saying that she just wished he would fucking die, like all kinds of shit.
And he heard it all.
All of it for years and years, and he couldn't do anything. He couldn't react, couldn't respond. Nothing. Do you imagine the fucking pain?
But like I said, these videos of Terri Schiavo were literally made, cut, edited to make it look like she was responding to stimuli, and the doctors were just like, no.
So how did he know then if she wasn't able to move or like do much?
Because he just listened to the doctors. The doctors kept saying and kept trying to tell the Schindlers, she's gone. I mean, you can take care of her, but she's not there. I mean, the doctors flat out said her brain is gone. It may physically be in her head, but it's gone. She was without oxygen for far too long. And the doctors knew it. And ultimately they'd be right. People on Michael's, here's what's fucked up, is people on Michael's legal team, they were scared of bomb threats. I mean, people were getting threatened to be killed by these people because the media pulled them to the Bob and Mary's side, which again, I understand. If they, I understand both sides. I truly do. But like, you got the legal team, people like Michael's lawyers would go out under their cars and like use mirrors and check for any fucking strange thing because they thought people were sending death threats, man.
It's crazy too because like it went from just like a civil, like what do we do? Like that'd be, like just anybody would go through something like that in a situation like that, and then it just blew up for no reason.
Yeah,
literally no reason.
And what's fucked up is the public got involved, the media got involved, and then politicians started getting involved. And when politicians get involved, it really dirty.
It gets messy, yeah.
I said politicians, you see him, he's like, ugh.
They the first thing that I thought of is like the first thing that the only reason politicians got involved was how can I make money off of this fucking situation?
Exactly.
That was my first thought.
You could start running some agenda or just,
And I'm not saying all politicians are that way, but
they
fuck, the ones that got involved in that were looking for fucking money.
I'm sure there was some to be had, especially in a high-profile case like this. But in 2003, there was Terry's Law was established, giving Jeb Bush, who we talked about, the right to reattach the feeding tube, which they did. This was in 2003. Okay? It was removed by court order 6 days earlier. They were able to get it back in there. She wasn't gone. The body can go without for quite a while.
But how long can it go without water?
Well, yeah, I know. But they think that nurses were still helping her, even though there was a court order. Nurses were making shit up that, she had broken bones. And they were able to prove that she never had any broken bones. Mm-hmm. They were trying to make Michael Schiavo out to be abusive at one point in time. She had these broken bones that have just grown back over time. No, she didn't. Michael Schiavo was not a bad guy. Still alive. I speak about him in past tense. He's still alive.
Oh, okay.
But
I figured.
For stories,
I figured as much. It's
we don't know this guy.
2005.
But in 2005, the fight went to Capitol Hill, and the feeding tube had been removed yet again, and conservatives, they chose to put a law that would give Terry's parents the ability to fight Mike. Like they assisted in Terry's parents fighting Michael.
But it's literally none of their fucking business.
It really isn't. But it was, of course, the media got involved. This is almost done. After a late night emergency session of Congress, a bill came to a vote. President Bush signed a thing to have her feeding tube reinserted. But the federal judge refused that order and said no. She's not having it inserted back. And in March 31st of 2005, she would finally pass away 13 days after the feeding tube was removed the final time. An autopsy concluded what the doctors had confirmed the whole time. Her brain was gone. It was so damaged and irreversible. Now, here's the deal. Now, since then, just about 3 years after, neuroscientists discovered this, or they invented this machine that can track brainwaves. And they did it on a patient very similar to the one you were talking about, who was in a coma.
Yeah.
This guy was in a vegetative state, but they were able to track his brainwaves, and they'd ask him yes or no questions. And they were showing this while it was happening. But I'll just give you a random question. They go, "Is Jeffrey your dad?" And there was no brainwave. He goes, "Okay." "Is Roger your dad?" And the brainwave shot up.
Oh shit!
It's like they're answering, but they can't speak or talk.
They're answering trapped in their own body.
But then again, it's an unclear answer though.
It is,
you know what I mean?
But after about so many fucking yes/no questions, they always asked him a question he would answer yes to, and his brain consistently fired off to yes.
So the ones that they knew the answer to yes was, then that's the ones that his brain was firing to. The ones that he wouldn't answer were the ones that didn't fire, I'm assuming.
Right.
And it had to be pretty vague questions.
And then the Brave scan that they did on this guy, because they were able to do scans during, not as good as you could during an autopsy.
Yeah. But
they were able to do brain scans, and he had little brain usage, but he was able to answer questions. And now they're getting to a point where they're going to pass a law. These scientists are going to take this to Capitol Hill and the courts. What if he doesn't want to live? We're going to ask him, do you want to live or do you want to die? And they're going to what they're going to try to do is give these people the right to make their own choice if they can't physically answer.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if there's a different.
Fair, but sorry to interrupt, but like I think that's fair. But what if like they can't process that in that state of mind?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I wonder if like the answers that they can come down to, whether like if it's a yes or a no, like it's literally like a different size, like wave,
Right.
you know. But then again, that'd be so hard to, distinguish, because like what's movement compared to like actual noise or like feeling,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I know that like if you're scared or something, like it might be like a big spike or some shit, but like simple words, I don't see how they could determine whether it's like a yes or a no, or like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like pull up on your phone, one of you guys, Terri.
Ooh,
That's a good one, yeah. Do you have your phone?
Yeah, I got it.
Terri, and then just do SC. It should say Schiavo, IAVO. Terri.
It's SCH.
SCH. Yeah.
IAVO.
But like that's her. But like Google Images and stuff,
Like,
and then you'll see
prior
her.
to it.
Yeah. See. Look at that. And then that's her like towards the end.
Yeah.
See. So I mean, you can. That's her shortly
Probably,
after it happened.
Yeah, and then that's towards the end.
And then yes.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference. But yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and it was such a high profile thing, and it caused such a huge outpour. And I won't lie to you guys, man. When I was watching, I'm like, fuck that guy, don't kill her, man. Let the family have her. Let the family have her. But so much came out after they finally did it that one, Terri Schiavo, they were able to prove she didn't want to keep living like that. If it ever happened.
And the fact that they made her live like that for another 15 years is like, you could almost sue the fucking courts like back for abuse in a sense.
Yeah.
Like,
but Bob died. Bob Schindler passed away like a few years after. I don't know if he passed away in like 08 or 09 or some shit. Yeah. I think Mary Schindler's still alive. She wasn't that old. I mean, it's only 19 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a crazy ass case, but it brings up the whole point of imagine you can hear it, but you can't even make your brain answer anything, but you can hear it, and people are like, well, I mean, I'm just saying, what if? Because you can sit there and say machines say this and machines say that.
True.
How the fuck do we know when machines are actually accurate or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, imagine you're trapped in your body.
Yeah.
You have no way. You can't even get your brain to register anything to answer yes or no, even stimuli.
Sure.
But you can hear everything. Huh?
These waves are just a little low for the sound waves.
No.
I'm sorry. They're not low?
No.
Okay.
No, I ran a mic check.
Okay.
Cause like.
Alright, I'm saying that.
No, you're good. No, you're good, man.
Sorry,
You're just concerned. But imagine you're trapped in your own body, and people are like, well, let's pull the feeding tube. You're like, fuck.
Like, bro, I am starving right now.
Like, I could go for, like, you're just like, beep, 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 beep. No, you gotta do.
Like Morse code?
No, here we go. Sorry, listeners. This is gonna be morbid. Get ready.
No, I was just gonna say, could you imagine you just did beep, 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 beep.
I don't get it.
McDonald's, dude.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Yeah, like you just kept repeating, beep, beep, beep. Like you just kept sending that brainwave. like you're like, it was McDonald's, dude. Something.
Jesus.
You're like food. You're just
Put
trying to
that
register
shit
food.
in a blender.
It
Dude.
physically, it hurts. It physically hurts.
Good God.
Yeah, but there have been cases of this. Like, there's other cases that they compare this to.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I just, for some reason, this one caught so much fire because the media and...
It's just crazy because, like, it's hard enough, like, to have to deal with a situation like that. And then having it, like, publicly broadcasted to the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then I'm sure, like, their personal lives were affected. Like, once you get, like, a camera in your face, like, they probably, like, follow them around. Like, what are they doing today? And all this shit.
This would have to be fucking.
And what's the difference between being brain dead and being dead? Because when you die, your brain dies.
But could you imagine being harassed for 15 fucking years?
When all he wanted to do is carry out a wish. Well, technically 11 because he tried
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Still 11 fucking years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Being harassed for
From
11
1990 to
fucking years.
1994, Michael Schiavo worked with her for 4 fucking years. I mean, that's a long time.
Mm.
And he would still get the prognosis. He's like, no, we gotta keep trying. So for 4 years, it's like, and then after 4 years, he's like trying to tell the Schindlers, he's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I could see both sides, like you're saying.
You can see both sides.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, who kind of has the right to determine, like...
Well, no one has the right
to play. Like neither of them really should have...
But the second she put it that he makes the call, then he makes the call. I mean, that's like I don't know if it's in a will and testament or what, but like when my mom gave me the power of attorney, I had to do it. I wasn't going to go against her and say, no, keep trying. They've been working on my mother for 45 fucking minutes.
And like you could have. Like you easily could have.
I could have said, yeah, could you keep trying, please?
But, I mean...
But she was brain dead for 45 minutes, my mom. So what are they going to be able to do?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean... I'm sitting there watching it for a half hour, like.
Because like, don't get me wrong, like I mean, like you said, for like the first like 4 months or whatever it was, right, or something. Like if
4 years.
Yeah, if he was like trying.
Yeah, for 4 whole years.
Yeah, then like. I guess like what are your options? You know what I mean?
The best way to look at it, and I have a feeling Myles would look at it this way: Terri Schiavo's body died in 2005, but Terri Schiavo died in 1990.
That's kind of how I see it. Like
right.
Like if she had absolute zero functionality, I'm sorry, but you are putting yourself in a terrible financial situation to take care of someone that does not know they are being taken care of anymore.
Exactly.
They don't know
for 15 years.
From I like you said, what if somebody comes out with something that can restore all of that back? Maybe what if it's just some type of swelling in the brain and that's why there's not activity there? What if they figure out how to bring it down?
Sure.
What if it's an influx in glucose and that's what the issue is? Like, we don't know for sure yet. I'm assuming I don't know. All right, so trying to cover my ass there, right? Don't want to get yelled at.
By who?
People would just be like, "You're wrong." You're like, "No fucking shit, dude. I'm not a doctor."
Yeah.
Well, and when they say you're wrong, you say, "Okay, prove it."
Yeah. Shit. Like.
Anyways,
but no, I'm just saying though, like you're risking putting yourself into such a deep financial hole, trying to take care of somebody that has no clue that they're being taken care of.
Yeah.
Just for the off chance that somebody on this fucking planet is going to create something that is going to be readily available to you in a period of time that seems fit to bring them back to life.
No, it makes total sense.
It's a tough cookie.
The Bingham said it best. You can look at it. There is no right or wrong on either side. We may have views.
I think no matter what, people are gonna look at it like, oh, well, why does the husband get to choose? You know what I mean? But then the same thing with the like,
and then,
there's gonna be other people where it's like, no, like that is, that's her husband. Like he gets to choose.
Right.
She
gave him that right.
Yeah. God, but like, I don't know. I know this conversation
wouldn't
fly this smoothly nowadays, but at the same time, it's like I said, if you're gonna put yourself through a financial risk, okay, think about it, right? Like, did they have kids?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so like
the Schivos, Michael and Terri, I don't believe so.
So let's just imagine that they had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you gonna spend probably your entire fucking life savings and all of your checks probably per month to keep somebody alive that doesn't know they're alive, or are you going to take care of your kids?
Right.
And make sure that they have a mom that they can remember instead of a mom that they have to sit there and watch die for 15 fucking years.
And this is going to sound selfish too, but remember, Michael Schiavo tried for 4 years. 4 years, okay?
That's a long time.
48 fucking months, okay? So think about this. He didn't die. So he does have a right to try to move on with his life. He gave 4 years of his life. Yeah. That's a chunk. That's more than some people. Some people would have just fucking walked away.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would have just walked away.
So at the time when I was watching all this, me and fuck Michael Schiavo.
So
but he was not wrong.
Try to think of it like this then too. So like say full abandonment, right? Like family, husband, everybody was just like, yeah, we don't know what to do. Like this is up to you. And other people were like, no, this is up to you. But nobody takes, it into their hands. What happens then? Like, does it go to the state and like the state kind of decides?
Right. I would definitely think it did. If they abandon the whole thing, then yes. The state would have to take over.
My next question then is, what do you think the state would do?
Put her down. I mean, I know that sounds bad, but like
the state of Florida,
feeding tube.
Well, no, the state of Florida obviously wouldn't have. Well, I mean, Bush obviously didn't want it done.
Yeah. So it's like, so I mean, hypothetically.
Okay, in the state of Colorado, I'm betting they keep her on the tube. In the state of Colorado, I'm betting they take her off. In the state of Florida, I'm betting they keep her on.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
that would be like.
But yeah, understand.
Like,
this is back when Florida was actually getting blue.
Okay.
Florida was more blue at this point. I mean, I'm not sure when it came to George Bush, but Florida, it hasn't been red all that long.
No, I know. And Colorado hasn't been blue all that long either.
No.
And so the states flip flop a lot.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to look at it from this perspective too. Like Jeb Bush and all these guys get involved because there's a legal fight. So then they're in the media's attention. They're in the media's eye. So now they got to do what they think's right, according to the people, so they don't piss the people off.
Yeah.
But if this wasn't in the media and you're asking me what they would do, they'd pull the plug because they don't want to keep burning their own resources to keep her alive.
Yeah.
The only reason they would have kept her alive, like you're saying, if it was taken over by the state, is because it would be under a media's attention.
It wasn't. Okay, but hypothetically too, also, what if they were doing exactly what Myles was kind of saying? Like, what if they literally just kept her like alive or like in that state to find a certain like resolution for it? You know what I mean?
And they may very well have.
Which is understandable, but you have to realize that
that's a lot of money.
I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I feel like at that point, if they're going to do that, they need to bring it to a vote for the community. Because at that point, it's taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Florida's not libertarian.
No, and I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, in general, if a state is going to choose to keep somebody alive for their own scientific benefit or Medicare benefit, they should fucking take it to a vote.
They don't care what the people think. They just go pass a law.
Like, think of it like this too. Like when like people are, like in prisons, like they are technically like to the state, right? Like they belong to the state.
Yeah,
penitentiary, whatever, jail, whatever it is, right?
And when you join the military.
So when they get like beat up or something, right? Like they go to the hospital or whatever it is, like they get house shit or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
But like they save those people. You know, like what if somebody was in that same situation, like. Right. I don't know. It's just weird. Like,
it's hard to say when it comes to total abandonment exactly because I don't think that issue's happened yet. I mean, it may have, but they keep it under wraps.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, we always just Google it, quick Google search away.
Yeah.
But all right, well, that's the story of Terri Schiavo. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is a very interesting story, and I'm like, I'm sorry that we goofed off a lot through this episode, but I'm like,
well, it's always the first episode of the night. It's hard to get serious.
It is the first episode. We gotta get it out of the way,
but like make light of things too and everything.
Yeah,
it's like it's a hard story.
We're going into the weekend. I don't want to leave here all fucking disappointed and shit.
And trust me, when Myles is goofing off, it's nothing against the people we're talking about.
Not by any means.
It's just he's not making fun of anything.
It's literally how I deal with this kind of shit. Yeah. Humor is my worst.
Rest in peace to Terri Schiavo, and once again, rest in peace to my boy Steve Gomez.
Yes, sir.
Rest in peace.
Yep, I hope he's doing well wherever he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we'll wrap this one up. But as always, I am outro.
Adios.
That's Madonna.